Sponsored by the Big 98, Nashville's #1 for new country and the home of the Bobby Bones Show.
We're thrilled to have on an up-and-coming country music singer, songwriter, and guitarist, Presley Tennant. Presley, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
You know, I got to tell you, listening to this new EP, 600 Miles, what a great EP. And I think my favorite song on here is How Many Kisses?
Oh my gosh, well thank you so much.
How did you come up with the songs for this EP?
So this collection of songs I have been working on since 2020.
Wow.
So it's very exciting that it's finally out there. There's 6 songs and all of them are kind of just what I've been going through over the past couple of years or what's been going on in the world and how I feel about everything. And for it to finally be out there is just the most liberating feeling ever.
Well, and also I got to bring up, you recorded it at a studio here in Nashville also.
Yes, I recorded it at Soundstage. So.
With a top producer.
Oh, with Jeff Huskins. He's awesome. I absolutely adore him. And just the product of these songs, when I heard it from like just the work tape to finished product, I was like, this is magic, I swear.
Well, I think it's neat also. With the songs, you've kind of got a nod to like traditional country, and then also modern country. And then with How Many Kisses, I kind of felt like it was kind of bluesy and sultry.
I take a lot of inspiration from so many different types of things.
Right.
And I think me as an artist, that really translates into my music.
Yeah.
And people are able to kind of understand that. Like I love a little bit of like that soul and the bluesy kind of feel. Mm-hmm. But then I also love what you would normally expect because that's what makes country.
Right.
But then also in a little bit of my other music, there's a little bit of like a rock flair.
Yes.
I don't know, it's a whirlwind, but it's me and that's all that matters.
Well, I think it keeps all your influences, like we were talking before we came in studio. Obviously you're going to appeal to the younger audience, but I think also a more mature audience is going to gravitate towards your traditional songs.
Yeah.
Which is incredible.
Well, thank you.
And you're from Norco, California, if I said that right.
Yes.
Horsetown.
Yep.
So are you a horse rider? I mean, do you ride horses?
Dare I say I've only been on a horse 1 or 2 times. My parents moved there before I was born because of the property and the land. There's so much land, but I love it there. I go to Starbucks and someone's on a horse in the drive-thru, and I'm like, people are like, "Is that real?" And I'm like, "I swear we're real."
That's like Nashville, to where it's like anywhere you go, it's like, "Oh, look, someone with a guitar." Same thing, horses, guitars.
Exactly.
Well, and then you're coming to Nashville almost every month now, doing a lot of songwriting.
Yes, and it is always a treat coming out here, just because being in this town, obviously everyone here does music. In some way, somehow, everyone's in the industry. And so back home, there's not many people that do music, so I grab them on. I'm like, hey, you're staying with me whether you like it or not. Hopefully they like it. But when I come out here, it's just so inspiring.
Well, and you started performing at only 10 years old. And we got to bring this up. You were one of the top people in The Voice. And, and I think it's ironic, too, that, as a kid, you performed a Kelly Clarkson song, and then you get to do it with Kelly Clarkson. I mean, what did that feel like?
It felt like a dream come true. I thought I was still dreaming even when it was happening. I was 10 years old, and I think it was like a random little singing competition, and I would always sing her song Because of You at every single little one.
Right.
Didn't do as well as I would think. I thought I would on those, but that's in the past. You live and you learn.
Critics.
And so, but I would always sing that. And then when I was 16, I ended up on The Voice. Mm-hmm. And I remember I was like, Kelly is my top choice. I already know I'm going to choose her if she picks me or if I have multiple. And then as soon as she turned her chair, I was like, wanted to do a little dance on stage like during the song, and I was like, I can't do that, I still gotta sing. But
oh my gosh.
I had a little minute to relax. I was like, I made it, I'm cool, I'm okay with this. This is exactly what I wanted to happen.
What a great experience.
Yeah, and she is just a phenomenal human being.
Well, and I got to bring this up too to brag on you. You've taken that opportunity and parlayed it into more. I mean, you've shared stages with Blake Shelton and with Tim McGraw. And I know you've got a lot of, big things happening this year as well, to where you're sharing stages with other big artists we can't even mention right now.
It is, I never thought in a million years this is where my life would be right now, but I am so grateful it is, because this is like what I grew up, like I watch them, they're part of the reason why I do music.
Right.
Because I loved what they stand for, and they get to do what they love in front of so many people, and all those people support them for who they are. And to know that like I'm on the same stage as them, and I'm like, they're playing 20 minutes after me. This is crazy. It is just the coolest thing I think I have ever. I don't even know. I'm speechless every time I think about it.
Well, you know, and as an up-and-coming young singer-songwriter and guitarist, because I have to bring that up, you know, starting out at only 10 years old and now having write-ups in major magazines, that's got to feel good. You have to feel like you're making headway and making progress in this business. Yeah,
I mean, it is just. I feel like I keep saying the same thing, but it's really how it is. Mm-hmm. I would go to the stores and I would see like the People magazines and whatnot, and I'd be reading them in line, like as my mom's getting like checking out, and I'd be like trying to read as fast as I can. And then I'm on their website and I have like an article written about me, and I was like, this is not real. What is going on?
It's just incredible, but I think it's all for the right reasons too, because your voice is just so incredible, and I know you're having a great time writing. And I'd be remiss if I didn't bring this up. I like the Taylor guitar that you have in a lot of your pictures.
Well, thank you.
And you've been using on stage.
That was my first ever guitar that I bought.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I started playing about 3 years ago, or maybe a little bit longer than that. 4 years ago.
You can't tell it from how well you play.
Well, thank you so much.
Yes.
I try as best as I can. But it was my first ever guitar. I remember I had like a gift card and some money from The Voice, and I was like, I'm going in, and this is what I'm buying. And so I went and I knew nothing about guitars, and I was like, what do you recommend? He was like, it's whatever your heart desires.
Right.
So I started playing a couple, and I was like, this is the one. So that was a special little moment.
You sound like me. Anytime I have extra money, I go buy a guitar. Same thing.
It's a bad habit.
It is, but you can justify it.
Exactly.
You do it for a living. You know, it's a write-off.
Exactly.
Come on. Well, you know, how did you get so involved in social media too? Because I know you've got a huge fan base across all social media, especially TikTok. And it's a great way for you to be able to share at least parts of your songs.
Yeah. At a very young age, I was on social media, which probably isn't very smart, but it was just for me and my friends. I would post the dumbest videos I think anybody would ever see. If people scroll back on like TikTok. It was before it was TikTok. It was Musical.ly, and
it was like, just Tick.
Yeah, something like that. And those did really well for some reason, embarrassing myself. But you know what? It's great. And I can't complain too much. And then after that, I started posting like covers and things like that. And it is one of the covers that I did. I rewrote a Zach Bryan song from the female's perspective, and that did really well. And I just posted a chorus, not thinking anything of it. And then 2 days later, it was like blowing up, and I was like, "What is going on?" And so I rewrote the full thing and released it. So that has been absolutely really cool.
How smart, but also to do it from a female perspective, because I think in the business, you know, it's like certainly, you know, female artist is like, you know, lifting them up, you know, giving your perspective. And also, I think you give a voice to other young females who are looking for that.
I just remember when I heard the song, I was flying back from Nashville actually, and he had just dropped his album. It was like 30 songs or something. Mm-hmm. So I listened to all of them, but Something in the Orange stuck out to me. And so I was like, this would be really cool. Like, he's talking about this girl that is leaving him and isn't coming back. And I was like, what if she was coming back? And so I just played around with it. And I was like, oh, this is, I don't know, we'll just throw it out there.
I love that.
And then it worked. And I was like, oh, I didn't expect this, but I am very grateful for it.
What a great mindset. And I also wanted to bring up something near and dear to your heart, which I think our viewers will want to know about, Riffs and Rescues.
Yes. So Riffs and Rescues is something that I started that I'm a very passionate lover of animals. I have 2 dogs at home. They're like my little best friends. They're a Gurkey Poo and a Chihuahua, and they're the sweetest things ever. But it breaks my heart to see all these animals in these shelters and rescues that not necessarily get another chance at life. Mm-hmm. When a lot of times people go in and they just want like the new puppies because they get them from being a baby, which is still amazing. They're adorable.
Right.
But animals are our best friends.
Totally.
And they deserve a loving home too. Mm-hmm. And so I've been working with different rescues and shelters and organizations to help raise money to help find these animals a second chance.
Well, and how can viewers become a part of that also? Because I know it's on your website.
Yes. It is on my website, which is PresleyTennant.com.
Well, and what about, with the tour, big things happening, some things we can't even talk about now because they're embargoed. And so, but you got a lot of big things with the tour, other big artists that you're going to be sharing the stage with. Are you opening for them or are they opening for you at some point? How does that work?
I'm opening for them right now.
Is it like a dual headline?
I don't even know at this point. I don't even know which way is up, but I love it. I love being busy. I just know as soon as I get back from here, I'm opening up for Chris Lane, and then as well as Cole Swindell, which I'm very excited for.
Amazing.
Some pretty awesome names, and I am so, every time I go in and I play and open up for these artists, it's just like, I don't know, they're all so nice, they're so friendly, and then it's always a good time. So.
Well, and I think obviously it speaks to your talent also with your voice and the songs and the honest delivery, and like with this EP, 600 Miles, it's so good. And I think it showcases your voice really well. And How Many Kisses is still my favorite song. But I want to make sure, for our viewers, for everything with your social media and your website and everything, where should they go, Presley?
You can find me on all social media, which is at Presley Tennant. So PresleyTennant. Or you can go to my website, which is PresleyTennant.com, and everything is linked there.
And I'll tell you what, be sure and add 600 Miles to your playlist, however you consume media. Great songs, you're going to love it all. Go see her live in concert. There may be some cool merch coming out too.
Yes, there is.
For this EP, but you got to go to the website or check TikTok.
Yeah.
You can do a cool TikTok video for it.
Oh yeah, there definitely will be one.
I'll tell you what, more great music coming from this young lady, Presley Tennant. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Sponsored by the Big 98, Nashville's #1 for new country and the home of the Bobby Bones Show.